The streets of Beijing never sleep. Neon lights spill across the glass windows of empty cafes, car headlights blur into streaks, and the sound of footsteps echoes longer than it should in the silence. Yet for Wang Yibo, nights aren't just about rehearsals, shoots, or the brief moments he craves for solitude. Lately, his nights have become haunted by something or someone that refuses to stay hidden. They call him the shadow photographer. No one knows his name, no one has ever seen his face. But whispers swirl around the industry that someone has been trailing Wang Yibo in the darkest hours, clicking pictures no camera should have captured. It began as harmless fan speculation, images appearing on anonymous forums. Candid, crisp, and impossibly timed. Yibo stepping out of a rehearsal hall at 2 a.m. Yibo sitting in the back of a car with only one street lamp casting a glow across his jawline. Yibo pausing at a crosswalk, his expression unreadable, as though weighed by thoughts only the night could carry. But the angle of those shots, the eerie closeness, they weren't the kind of pictures a paparazzo could casually snap. Whoever was taking them wasn't just following from afar. They were lurking in his shadow. The first time Yibo noticed, it was after a long practice session. The dance studio was empty, mirrors fogged with hours of sweat and movement. He left through the back alley, hoodie up, cap pulled low. The city was quiet. Too quiet. The soft click of a camera shutter sliced through the stillness. Yibo froze. He whipped his head around, nothing but the dark outlines of buildings. A stray cat darted across the street. He told himself it was in his imagination, but the sound had been real, distinct, sharp. He quickened his pace, heart pounding. By the time he reached his car, parked 3 blocks away, the feeling hadn't left him. That gnawing sense of being watched. The next morning, a picture surfaced online. A picture of him, hoodie up, head turned in that exact alleyway. Not blurry. Not distant. Perfectly focused. The caption beneath it read, "He knows." From that moment, the rumors exploded. Fans speculated wildly. Some said it was just an obsessed paparazzo. Others believed it was a stalker, a fan who had crossed the line. But a smaller group insisted this was something else entirely. The way the photos appeared, without watermarks, without credit, posted on hidden forums that disappeared within hours. The captions that sometimes came with them, cryptic, chilling. One simply read, "The night is never empty." The tension escalated one night when Yibo was leaving a closed-door script reading. Only a handful of staff knew the time and location. The meeting ended late, and he chose to walk to his car alone, not wanting to bother security for a short distance. Halfway through the parking lot, he felt it again. The air shifted. A weight pressed against him, not physical, but undeniable. He pulled out his phone, pretending to check a message, and tilted it just enough to use the camera as a mirror. Behind him, 30 feet away, was a figure. Dark clothes. Standing unnaturally still. He turned sharply. The figure was gone. But when he got home that night, there it was, another photo. Him in the parking lot, phone in hand, looking tense. Posted with the caption, "Don't look back." From then on, Yibo couldn't ignore it. He started moving differently, leaving locations unpredictably, switching cars, taking routes no one else knew. Yet, no matter what, the photos continued to appear. Always perfect. Always impossibly close. It wasn't just photos anymore. One night, after a performance, he returned to his apartment. Exhaustion weighed on him, every muscle aching from rehearsals. But when he pushed open the door, the air felt wrong. On the dining table was a single black and white photograph. It was him. Sleeping. His chest tightened. His bedroom door had been locked. No one should have been able to take that photo. But there it was, his face turned toward the pillow, unaware, vulnerable. Beneath it, scribbled in red ink, even in silence, "I see you." The industry buzzed louder with every new leak. Journalists caught wind of the mystery and tried to corner Yibo for answers, but he remained silent. Fans grew restless, some furious, others terrified. Forums became battlefields of theories. One claimed the photographer was a former staff member, someone who knew Yibo's schedule too well. Another insisted it was a rival star's team, trying to shake his mental state. A darker theory suggested it was a fan obsessed enough to infiltrate his private spaces. But none of them explained the impossible. Because sometimes, the photos showed angles where no human could have stood. From rooftops, from inside locked rooms, from shadows too narrow to hide a person. It was as if the shadow photographer was always one step ahead. The most chilling encounter came on a rain-soaked night in Shanghai. Yibo had a late-night shoot and wrapped around 3 a.m. The rain came down in sheets, drenching the streets, scattering pedestrians. He pulled his hood tighter and rushed toward the car waiting for him. Then, lightning split the sky. For a fraction of a second, he saw it. A figure standing across the street, camera raised, motionless in the storm. The flash of lightning illuminated the lens, reflecting back at him like an unblinking eye. He froze. The rain blurred his vision, but when he blinked, the figure was gone. The following morning, another picture appeared. Him. Standing frozen in the storm. The caption, "I was there." At this point, Yibo's team ramped up security. Guards, cameras, restricted schedules. But no one could ever catch the person behind the lens. No footage. No witnesses. Just the pictures, surfacing like ghosts in the night. Then came the breaking point. During a fan meeting, in front of thousands, Yibo took the microphone. He smiled, joked, answered questions, but when the event neared its end, his expression shifted. "I want to say something," he said quietly, almost to himself. The audience fell silent. "Whoever you are," he continued, "I know you're watching. I don't know what you want, but I'm not afraid anymore. If you have something to say it to my face. Stop hiding in the dark." The crowd erupted, confused, anxious, electrified. Clips of his statement went viral instantly. But instead of stopping, the shadow photographer responded. That very night, a new picture appeared online. It was from the fan meeting. The angle was impossible, taken from directly behind Yibo, close enough to capture the tense set of his shoulders as he held the mic. The caption read, "I already have." The internet lost its mind. Fans cried out for answers. Some begged Yibo to go into hiding. Others demanded the police get involved. But no official statement was released. The mystery only deepened. Some fans claimed to have spotted the shadow photographer at concerts and events, always at the edge of the crowd, always gone by the time security moved in. Others swore the photos weren't taken by a human at all, feeding theories about advanced AI cameras, drones, or something supernatural. Was the shadow photographer a stalker, a rival, or something stranger, something that blurred the line between obsession and the unexplainable? To this day, no one knows. But the photos still appear. Randomly. Quietly. Each one more haunting than the last. And every time Yibo steps into the night, the world wonders. Is the shadow photographer watching? Is he closer than we think? Or worse, is he already inside the shadows, waiting for his next perfect shot? The story of the shadow photographer didn't begin with fear. It began with a whisper. At first, Wang Yibo barely noticed it. He was used to cameras, to the constant hum of people documenting his every move. But the difference between a fan snapping a picture on a phone and the haunting precision of these shots was something he couldn't explain. They weren't rushed. They weren't desperate. They were composed, as if every frame was part of a larger picture only the photographer could see. It was late spring when he first truly felt it. The city was warm, but the night carried a chill that slipped under his hoodie. He had just left a dance practice, his body aching, mind heavy but calm. The streets were empty, except for the faint buzz of a neon noodle shop sign flickering down the road. That's when it happened. A click. Not loud, not sharp, but unmistakable. The sound of a camera shutter. Yibo turned instantly, eyes scanning the dim alley. His heartbeat spiked. Nothing but shadows, puddles reflecting the glow of the sign, and silence so thick it pressed against his ears. He shook it off, telling himself it was nothing, just his imagination fueled by exhaustion. He walked faster. Yet even as he slid into the back seat of his car, he couldn't shake the sensation that something or someone was trailing him. The following morning, the first photo appeared. It was him, caught mid-turn in the alley, eyes sharp, jaw tight, hoodie pulled over his head. The clarity of the image sent shivers down his spine. The caption beneath it was only 2 words. He knows. He didn't tell his team. Not yet. He wanted to believe it was a one-off, maybe an overzealous fan who had gotten lucky. But deep down, he knew better. Days passed. Yibo threw himself into rehearsals, shoots, and recording sessions, hoping the unease would fade. But each night it grew heavier, like a shadow pressing in closer. The second encounter came outside a rehearsal hall. It was past 1 a.m., and the building's corridors were empty except for the echo of his sneakers against the floor. He slipped out through the side exit, hoping to avoid the small group of fans waiting near the main gate. The night air hit him, cool and heavy. He pulled his cap lower and started walking toward the parking lot. That's when his phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. He hesitated before opening it. It was a photo. Of him. At that exact moment. The angle was behind him, just a few steps away. His breath hitched as his eyes darted around the lot. Shadows stretched long under the flickering lamps, but no one was there. Not a single soul. Beneath the photo, a short message was typed, "Don't walk alone." His chest tightened. Someone was close enough to send this in real time. He got into the car quickly, locking the doors, his driver glancing back with concern as Yibo stared out into the dark. From then on, the shadow photographer stopped hiding in subtlety. The pictures became bolder, scarier. One night, after a commercial shoot, Yibo returned to his apartment exhausted. He unlocked the door, kicked off his shoes, and dropped onto the couch with a sigh. The city lights filtered in through the curtains, and for the first time all week, he let his guard down. But when he walked into the kitchen for a glass of water, his entire body froze. On the counter lay an envelope. Inside was a single photo. It was of him, taken just minutes earlier, sprawled on the couch, head resting against the cushion, eyes closed. His blood ran cold. The apartment door had been locked. His windows sealed. His security system showed no breach. Yet someone had been inside. Scrawled beneath the image in jagged ink, "Even here, I see you." That was the night he told his team. Security was tightened, his schedule scrambled, but no matter how many precautions they took, the photos kept surfacing. What unsettled him most weren't just the images, it was the impossible perspectives. One photo showed him rehearsing in a mirrored studio, but the angle wasn't from the doorway or the windows. It was from inside the reflection itself. His figure was captured mid-spin, sweat glistening, face intense, yet the background showed no one holding a camera. Another shot was from his car ride home, his reflection in the rearview mirror sharp and haunting. But only he and his driver had been in the vehicle. No one else. Fans soon caught wind of the strange photos. Anonymous accounts posted them on hidden forums that vanished within hours, as if they were never meant for the public. Some fans dismissed it as edits, digital trickery. But others felt the raw dread in those images. They weren't fakes. They were too real. The whispers grew louder. Who was the shadow photographer? A fan who had broken all boundaries? A former staff member seeking revenge? Or something far more sinister, someone or something not bound by ordinary means? The scariest moment yet came during a thunderstorm in Shanghai. Yibo left a late-night shoot, rain cascading down in relentless sheets. The streets glistened under the lightning, thunder cracking so loud it shook the air. As he rushed across the street toward his car, a flash of lightning illuminated the figure. Across the road, standing still in the pouring rain, was a person dressed in black, camera raised. The lens caught the light for a split second, an unblinking eye in the dark. And then, gone. By the time his guards rushed over, there was no trace. The next morning, the photo appeared online. It was him, caught mid-step in the storm, face lit by lightning, fear etched across his features. The caption simply read, "I was there." At that point, it wasn't just Yibo who was terrified. Fans across the globe felt it. Something about the photos was too deliberate, too calculated, too haunting. They weren't just pictures. They were messages. And the message was clear. The shadow photographer wasn't going away. He was only getting closer. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this mystery, share it with fellow fans, comment your theories, and subscribe for more spine-tingling celebrity stories you won't find anywhere else.